no one who's actually ever truly holy, because
so you're right. But I'm also right. So let me explain to you why. So all of us by nature are unholy, by which I mean that we are sinners, we are unrighteous. Now these are all big biblical words, okay? So we are people who are imperfect. Let's just stick with that. Here's the scandal. God the Son comes and he lives among us. And he lives an utterly perfect life in every single way. He faces all the temptations that we know so well. These temptations that when we face them, we often give into. He doesn't. He lives this utterly perfect life. And then he goes and he dies the kind of death that a criminal deserves. And the good news, what God is saying, is that for us as rebels, as imperfect people, who deserve to pay some kind of penalty for being rebels in God's kingdom, God himself has entered into our situation. He has lived the perfect life, and yet he has died the kind of death that we deserve in our place. So now let's bring it back to your question. Let's use me as an example. Am I imperfect? Yes. I can tell you that. You can ask my wife, you can ask my 3-year-old daughter, you can ask my 1-year-old son. They will all tell you I am imperfect. And yet, because I am trusting in Jesus, in his sight right now, I am viewed as 100% perfect. Why? Because Jesus' life, his perfect life, is credited to me. So let me explain it in this way. Let's imagine that that light was on. And that's God. That's the radiance of God. And this is me. The problem is, this should be bigger, I have sin that separates me from God. It blocks these rays coming through. Jesus comes and he lives the perfect life. And he dies the death that he doesn't deserve. He dies the death that I deserve. What he does is he takes this sin onto himself over here. And then he does something else. I don't have another thing, but imagine there was a sheet of white paper here. Not only does he take my sin onto him, but he takes this perfect life that he has and he puts that onto me. So that now, when the Father looks at me, wretched, imperfect Ryan, what he sees is he sees the perfect life of Jesus. And so I am simultaneously imperfect and perfect in God's sight. He has declared me perfect. Now here's the other part of the good news. This is what he has declared in me right now. And he has also started working in me. And he is working at kind of maturing me and growing me to follow and to love the right things. To follow Jesus and to love the right things. And he will bring me to a day when Jesus returns, my imperfection that is kind of still carried in my body will be utterly removed. And so his declaration that I am perfect will be matched by the fact that I am perfect. And that is the hope that is tied up in Jesus' return. A hope that is secure for us because of Jesus' life and his death and his resurrection. Does that make sense? It's good news. It's really good news. This is the only reason I can get out of bed in the mornings, because I feel my imperfection. I know God's at work in me, but I feel my imperfection, and yet I am utterly perfect before the Father. So much assurance, so much security, even in my struggles with sin.